Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Pick and Roll. This is your NBA betting show on the Hammer Betting Network. This is the board, which is the NBA content division of that network. We go live here every weekday morning around 11:20 a.m. Eastern time to hear Pips' best player props. Usually we do some discussion pieces, but as you can tell from my voice, I've been losing my voice. We're going to skip the discussion portion of today's stream and just keep it shorter. We're going to do the recap of yesterday's plays, and we'll be going into the picks for today. 3 official plays on the way. Thank you to everybody who's been tuning into these shows. Thank you to everybody who came to our live stream on the Hammer account on YouTube, where we did our reaction to the trade deadline yesterday. Had a lot of fun with that and had fun answering your questions as well. But let's go into yesterday's bets. It was a 1-1 day. Felt like it really could have been a 2-0 day, but unfortunately, we go to the Jokic play. Jokic, I'll pull up the graph in a second, has not gone over over 7.5 assists with those minutes only once this season. And we got the second yesterday. We said yesterday's bet largely hedges on Michael Porter Jr., and he got it. But Jokic, unfortunately, somebody brings it up here, 5 assists second quarter, 1 assist in the third quarter, and 0 in the first and the fourth. That's very unfortunate. But you were watching this one, Pips. What did you see from Jokic here?
I mean, he did have enough potential assists to cover this line, but as you saw, like Michael Porter Jr. was 3 for 17, and every shot, Gordon had a huge game where he shot where he had like crazy, like 15 from 20 or something similar. But every possession will just be like Gordon gets the ball and isolation and some shots shooting, which ends up without assists. So he had a lot of like unassisted plays, and it was weird. There will be like 3 straight possessions that don't even touch the ball, which is like don't have Jamal Murray. You should go through Jokic on every possession, and then you had like couple of possessions where Jokic didn't even touch the ball at all, like, and yeah, that's why they lost. Of course, you just can't not use Jokic, and also in the second half, Jokic started being way more aggressive and looking to score, and because they were down, and yeah, a lot of things combined. So like in the first quarter he had 0 assists, and I think expected should be like at least 4, because they missed, like, the guys will run into transition with wide open lanes and like lose the ball and miss the layup and miss the dunk and all kinds of stuff. Yeah, I think this is probably the best bet that we lost the entire season. Like, this was amazing bet. And yeah,
I'll
Michael
pull up
Porter
the
Jr. ended up shooting 12 threes. So, like, he missed almost every single one and still covered it because, as I said, like, they were just swarming inside, and Michael Porter Jr. was wide open half the game.
Yeah, I'll pull up the graph here to heighten this a bit further. So this is the graph that we kind of went off for the Jokic one. So the new one would have another red line here on 6, but this is just a smash for Jokic typically. And just a reminder that I guess nothing is ever guaranteed when it comes to sports betting. But thankfully, the other play did win. We did have to change it on the fly during the show, but it was a winner. It took Jrue Holiday a while here. I went to bed early, but I thought this wasn't going to cover when I went to bed, and I woke up to Jrue Holiday grabbing 18, Giannis covering this one easily as expected. Any thoughts from this game? Lakers in their first game post Westbrook.
I think the Lakers did pretty good considering that everyone was out for them. They hustled, they played, and they lost it like throughout the mid of the fourth quarter, like when they run out of the gas because the main players were playing huge minutes. But I think it was a pretty good game by the Lakers. And yeah, Jrue Holiday had slow start, 2 points on the halftime, but he covered this in the third quarter. Giannis covered this early in the fourth, so we had like covered this with like 10 minutes left in the game. So this was a no sweat winner.
All right, great stuff there. We'll hopefully get a winning day here to round off the week here. We did last Friday, so hopefully the off nights from Friday have gone away here. Going back to the well for the first play, the Bucks have stayed in LA, same arena, but this time they'll be taking on the Clippers. But hopefully more Giannis.
So we are betting Giannis over 33.5 points, which is minus 20 at DraftKings. So I'll just say this one is pretty simple. Last game against the Clippers, Giannis scored 54 points. Season high 39 field goal attempts, and everyone else on the team stayed way under their lines. So they were just letting Giannis get his. Just switch defense, and that's it. Like stay in front of him and not nothing crazy. And with that kind of defense, Giannis just killed this line, and I expect him to do the same tonight. Because even though Giannis had scored 54 points, and the entire team, the rest of the team didn't score as many as he did. So and Clippers lost by one, only by one, because Kawhi shot 7 from 26. So I think Clippers will stick to the same way of defending. We saw some like Cam Thomas scoring almost like 45 points against them, and that's because they just kept the same way of defense. No matter that he scores, they just kept single coverage of and switching. There is no Kawhi Leonard in this game because and he's probably one of the best guys to defend Giannis. So without him, I think they are even worse. And this is back-to-back games, so there is no Chris Middleton, probably no Chris Middleton. So like entire offense is in the hands of Giannis, and if they do defend him with single coverage again, I think he can cover this line pretty easily. And he's usually great in back-to-back games. He's one of the most like ready guys in the league to play these kind of games from back-to-back. He's in amazing shape, and yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
mean, we saw how well Giannis played yesterday. If the Clippers defend him anywhere the same way as the previous time they played, as you mentioned, this would be a very good line to take. Thankfully, this one hasn't moved on us during the show. So let's move into the second play on the show today. We spoke yesterday on our stream on the Hammer about where we can find some matchups to exploit, maybe with teams changing around a lot. And one guy who definitely is going to see higher usage today while Kevin Durant gets his bags packed is DeAndre Ayton playing against the Pacers. And we've liked the matchup against Turner. So here it is.
so we are betting DeAndre Ayton to score over 20.5 points, which is minus 150 on BetMGM. So the last three games, Ayton scored 31, 35, and 23 points. And the last one, the 35 points, which is I think it's a season high, was in the first game with Devin Booker back to the floor. And there is no Cam Johnson, there is no Shamet, there is no like Mikael Bridges. So like a ton of players out, and even with Booker back, I think Indiana Pacers, the way they are defending, they just Miles Turner is helping a lot on pick and roll ball handler. So he's just like angling and trying to protect the rim and drives against the ball handlers, which leads a lot of like drop out passes for bigs. And if you look at the data, that's clearly shown because throughout the entire season, Pacers are allowing third most points to the centers, and they are almost the best point guard defense, like which is amazing because they don't have any good defenders, and that's because Miles Turner is doing like a ton of helping there, which opens up the lane for for the bigs, and that's why we see so many big having big scoring nights against the Pacers, even though Miles Turner is a great defensive player. So I'll just name a couple of players like Wendell Carter had 18, Jared Allen had also 18 points, so that's way above their season average. We saw how AD had an amazing game against the Pacers, like eight on the way he's playing late. Also, last game, of course, last game for the Pacers, we had Bam Adebayo scoring 38 points. So if Bam Adebayo can score 38 and if Davis can score 35, I think it's like easily for Aiton to score 21 in this kind of form and with focus on the guards and with Booker and Chris Paul both being able to create for and for Aiton.
I'm being told by the chat here, unfortunately, the price is gone at BetMGM. Um, I guess I jinxed when I said thankfully Giannis doesn't move. Apparently, this one has moved off the board at BetMGM. Maybe is there anything you would play this up to? Our viewers potentially can shop around, find this elsewhere on the board as well. I'll just list a couple of spots that seem to be still available. If you're in Ontario, Botano still has this. Scorebet still has this. If you are in, also Bwin still has this in Ontario. If you are in America and you have access to Borgata, this is also available there. But Pips, is there any price you would play this one up to?
Yeah, I mean, I sent you this like 15 minutes ago, so I'm not surprised that a good line is gone. I don't know if we can do anything about it. Like, yeah, just like trying to get some, and let me just find a couple of seconds.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
So again, there are some books out there where you can find same sort of price, and sometimes again, like Javon is saying here, perhaps BetMGM will open it up at the same price, so we can wait on that one as well. You guys are watching later. If you're watching live and you want to check in on this one later as well.
Just
But I'll look
second.
around. Yeah, no problem here. We do have one other play on the way for you guys as well. After the fact, so we'll have 3 official plays. Hopefully, we can find something for this one as well over here. I guess we will do. I'll bring in a bit of a discussion piece since we won't do one after the fact while we wait on this one. So yesterday we spoke a lot about in our stream on the Hammer. We were talking about some of the biggest losers from the trade deadline, and we spoke about the Raptors a lot. Obviously, I'm a Raptors fan, and it seemed like a lot of the people watching were Raptors fans. But I guess if we had that discussion today, probably the biggest thing we would have spoken about is the Chicago Bulls, because the Raptors in the standings, but they've already kind of used their all-in play on going all in for a player to supplement their team and be a winning team this season, and they made no moves at the deadline at all. And yesterday was kind of a showcase, I guess, of the dysfunction with the Chicago Bulls, because not only had they planned on going all in with this sort of team, they played against a pretty depleted Brooklyn Nets team coming off of all of those trades, not having everybody back yet. They did have Dorian Finney-Smith and Spencer Dinwiddie playing, but losing by 11 points to that Brooklyn Nets team was quite shocking to see, especially from a winning position. It seems like no matter what they do, they cannot find a way to get any wins. Okay, we'll adjust the play here again. We'll pull up a new line here. We'll go to DraftKings for this one. I will remind you guys, you can find at other books. You can find the same bet still available. But for the sake of the books that we have typically used, we'll pull up another one here. We'll go to DraftKings for a same game parlay now involving DeAndre Ayton. Freeze. Pips, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just trying to work around something. I just show you one graph. I don't know if you can pull it up, but it will be interesting for the
Yeah, I'll pull it up here.
So we are adding Chris Paul assists over 6.5, combining with Ayton over 18.5 points, which is minus 115 at DraftKings. Why? So it's correlated part of the same bet, because I said the Turner is helping a lot in pick and rolls on the ball handlers, and that's why they have one of the best point guards defense. So over the course of the last 30 games, they allowed the 5th least points to the opposing point guards, but they allowed above average, like 8th most assists. So it's well correlated, and if you take a look at the graphs, we can see that there is only one game similar to the Jokic one that Chris Paul didn't cover this, And in the first game with Booker back, he had 12 assists against the Brooklyn Nets that usually allow the least assists, one of the least assists to the opposing point guards. So I think this is a great spot for Chris Paul to cover this line, especially with Booker back. He'll look less to score and more to create. So I just think this is a great addition. We get 2 points less on Aiton, and actually it will be 21 and a half. So we get 3 points less and a good, I would say a great like and not juice line. Like I saw 8 and 20 and a half at the DraftKings on minus 130. So you're getting minus 150 with addition of Chris Paul covering this in almost every game in a positive matchup for him. So I think this is a good line.
Yeah, so we will reiterate because people are asking here. There are you can get the 20.5 on Aiden that's still available in other places for the sake of the show with the books that we
Yes.
typically use. We will alter to this one. So recommendation is to get the 20.5 on Aiden if you can. If you cannot, substitution here to grab Chris Paul over 6.5 assists with DeAndre Aiden over 18.5 points. You move a little bit down on Aiden's points and get Chris Paul. I guess similar to the Jokic one, where this largely hedges on DeAndre Aiden's ability to score, but we cannot guarantee that based on the Jokic play that did not go yesterday. Let's move
Yeah.
now. No guarantees. Let's move into the third play here. We're going with the Thunder against the Blazers. The Thunder, a team that is on the up for sure. Got a little bit worse the deadline, I guess, by losing Mike Muscala, but they have been playing really well. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, big reason why. Here is the third play.
The third play is Shea over 27.5 points combined with alternative spread at OKC plus 13.5, and combined price for these two is a minus 115 at DraftKings. So, like, Oklahoma City Thunder is playing hard and staying in almost every game they play this season. They lost, I think, 2 games in a blowout over the last. If you take a look over the last, like, throughout the entire season, I think they only didn't cover this line in like 3 games, maybe. Yeah. So in the 3 games, the entire season, they didn't cover this line, and in all 3 games, also Shea didn't cover his line. So it's a bit correlated. So if Shea is playing, if he's having a great game, they are covering this line, and another, like, of course, I'm huge on Shea here, but this alternative spread is a thing that the Blazers are 3.5 favorites in this game, and I just don't see them being the favorites. I think there is a value in that for sure, because they are without Nurkic, they are without Justice Winslow, and now they moved Hart. So like they have Damian Lillard, Simons, Sharp, Grant, and Eubanks, and so that's 4 negative defensive players in the starting five. No one that even can slow down Shea, and the way the Thunders are playing, I think that they could actually win this one. They played twice this season, and Thunders won in both games, so they have experience in beating Portland, this Portland team, and Dort could be back, and him defending Damian Lillard will be huge. So I just think that even if we get the close game, I think Shea is covering this line in like huge, 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 like, probability of him covering this line if the game is close, and it's a correlated. And also if he is having a huge game, Thunders usually do well. So I think this is a great correlated bet, and I love the spot with Portland being. Yeah, I think their losing heart is big for them, and I don't like how they look without Hart and Nurkic, because the most things that they did this season is playing Lillard off the ball, and that was going very well because he was playing dribble handoff with Hart and Nurkic, and with both of them being out, it's difficult. He'll get single coverage of Dort, and yeah.
All right, so those are the three plays for this one in particular. Um, yeah, losing Hart's a big deal. Thibault will make up a lot of that on defense, but he's not here. He's not going to be there yet. So great opportunity for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander here and for the Thunder to cover a big spread. in a game where they really should keep it close. And what I might say, they could be winning this one. So good spot there. Those are the 3 plays. We're going to skip the discussion for today because my voice needs a little bit of a break after all the stuff we've been doing recently. But let's recap all 3 here. Going back to Giannis for the first play against the Los Angeles Clippers. Same arena, different night. Same Giannis points over 33.5 points for -120 at DraftKings. Second play is in the Suns at Pacers. We've adjusted it to Chris Paul over 6.5 assists paired with DeAndre Ayton over 18.5 points, -115 at DraftKings. And we'll pull up the graph again. Not a guarantee, but Chris Paul, he fares quite well with this 6.5 line. And we're going into the final play here. Thunder at the Blazers. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander over 27.5 points paired with the alternate spread for OKC at 13.5, which is -115 at DraftKings. And a reminder on this 8 and play that if you can get a 20.5 for -110, -115, take that line instead of this line. That is the preferred play. But for the more widely available one right now at DraftKings, you can go for this one as well. So that has been your show. Thank you so much for the support over the week over here. Lots of plays potentially that we can find some value in as the NBA, the players, they shift around the league. And that's what we spoke about yesterday on the show on the Hammer. So stay tuned for more next week. We'll be back on Monday. If you guys want some more betting content, the Super Bowl, after all, is just a couple of days away. Head over to thehammer.bet for more. Go to the Forward Progress YouTube channel for our NFL content division. Make sure you have liked and subscribed over here to the board on YouTube to see us for more. Let's hope these pick cash. We hope everybody has a great weekend.